Welcome to the session on the board's role in fundraising. Its primary role of the board is to focus on governance, and often people on boards make the mistake of thinking that their role is fundraising, 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 and often those same folks have a fear of fundraising that will inhibit them from joining a board or from taking leadership on the work that they need to do on a board. Fundraising is very important, but it needs to be understood within the larger context of governance. And all board members, all boards should remember that the primary role of board service is to focus on the work of governance of the organization. Within that work of governance is, of course, some fundraising activities, in addition to a number of other activities, like focusing on the future of the organization, operational planning for the organization, overseeing the work of the executive director, overseeing the finances of the organization, which overlaps with fundraising, but is not the same thing. It involves more things like audits and taxes and so forth. So fundraising is a major portion of governance work, but governance is the primary work of the board. Board and staff are both important stewards of fundraising, so the staff will play an important role as well. The board is often most active in direct fundraising, especially with donors. They take more of a secondary role in other types of fundraising activities, such as writing grants and so forth, although they may certainly work with staff members on that process. And they govern the work of the staff in that process, meaning that at any board meeting, there would typically be an update to the board about the work that the staff is doing on various fundraising activities. The board may have a fundraising committee, and they really ideally should, but it's also important for every board member to recall that all board members fundraise. It's an important activity for all board members to be a part of. So, as an activity, in groups of 2 to 3, I want you to discuss your beliefs about money. Many of us have beliefs about money, assumptions about whether you should or shouldn't talk about money, whether it's okay to ask questions about salary, whether you yourself are comfortable discussing money with your loved ones and so forth. You might want to think about the culture of money in your family. What was money like when you were growing up? How did your family impact the way that you think about money and the way that you talk about money? How does that experience, that culture, impact the way that you think about money today? Are there other experiences that influence how you think about money today? And how might all of those collectively impact the work that you do as a fundraiser? So this is a great place to hit pause on this video, work on that together in those small groups, and then you can hit play again. Now we're going to have a full board discussion about fundraising and what it means to have fundraising be a core activity of the board. So, what are our strengths as a fundraising team? Thinking of the board collectively as a fundraising team, not just a fundraising committee that might be a subset of the board, but the entire board itself. What are our weaknesses as a fundraising team? What are our opportunities as such a team? And what are the threats we face as a fundraising team? So again, hit pause on this video and step through each of these key discussion points. Finally, we have some resources for further learning, 3 reading opportunities, as well as a video that you can watch from another resource. With each of these resources across these videos, I try to highlight who the organization behind it is, or in some cases, a specific author. So you'll see here BoardSource, Candid, and Boardable. These are organizations that produce a lot of important resources for nonprofits. I think BoardSource and Boardable are names that really highlight that they do that. Candid is a less obvious name, but they do a lot of work for nonprofits, and as a resource, they're going to come up a lot. And then this nonprofit show produces a great series of videos on YouTube around different aspects of nonprofit work. So check out each of these resources, and there's links to these on the full page below.